What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the post-mortem of the game. Manchester United have just lost 2-1 to West Ham, and regardless of where you start with this, regardless of whatever your opinion is on the game in general, how we played in the first half, all the big chances missed, you can talk about all that nonsense as much as you want. Ultimately, we're going to start with that penalty decision because, look, with the title is robbed. We didn't get robbed in terms of the performance. We got robbed by the referees and the officials. They've just put a statement out saying the referee did not award a penalty to West Ham for a challenge by Delite on Ings. The VAR deemed there was sufficient contact on Ings' lower leg and recommended an on-field review. The referee overturned his original decision and awarded a penalty. That is anyone who's just watched that, right? I don't care who thinks that's a pen. That is shocking officiating. That there was absolutely nothing fucking clear and obvious about that. Nothing at all. They don't know how to interpret VAR. They don't know how to use it. And if you notice as well, when it happens, I think Ings is the only one who's holding his hand up a little bit. None of the other West Ham players are on that pitch going, penalty, penalty, penalty. It's a coming together. He's swinging in momentum anyway, going into him. If that is a penalty, the game, and we've heard it so many times before, the game is fucking gone. That is never, ever a penalty, and I will argue that until I am dead. Sam, please, go.
Yeah, it's not a penalty. I see people in the chat going, "Oh, we played shit, so it doesn't matter." It's like, regardless of whether we played shit or not, like we can touch on that, but it's not a penalty. And people want to be negative for negative sake because they want Ten Hag out or they don't agree with whatever their agenda is. So they're trying to use the penalty as saying, "No, it was a penalty." It wasn't. It just wasn't. There's no way it officiated. The fact that the referee didn't deem it a penalty, and then VAR comes in, and like you said, it's not clear or obvious because nobody else was claiming it. And then he's gone to his thing and overturned his original decision, which he made on the pitch, and VAR stepped in. And by the way, do you know who the VAR official was?
Oh,
Michael Oliver. So
was it?
There you go. That says it all, really, doesn't it? So yeah, it's just absolute disgrace to officiate. And I've been saying it for ages. I don't think VAR is fit for purpose anymore. It just doesn't work. The amount of week in, week out of apologies we get from them saying they got this wrong and they need to improve. The amount of times they appear on Sky Sports and they go, "Yeah, I agree with the referee's decision." So they just back each other, even when they get it wrong. They back each other and go, "Yeah, no, he's got it right." And it's a fucking cabal of just like, yeah, we just protect each other and protect our own. Didn't a referee admit he didn't want to make a decision because his mate was in the VAR thing? So it's just, there's no objectivity, there's no fairness, there's no 50-50, and they don't know what they're doing. So it's just continuing. Every team gets hit with it, and it just seems to happen to us as well. And I'm sick and tired of VAR ruining football. It's fucking horrible, and I'm done with
a fucking decision being given. Imagine that was a Champions League final or a World Cup final, and a team lost because of that. I know it's not. I know it's not similar. Like I know it's a Premier League game, but obviously the points are just as important at this point because we're in 9 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats. Sorry, we're in 14th after 9 games. That's where we're at now. Like I said, you can argue people. I absolutely 1,000,000%. You should take your first chances in the first half, and if you don't do that, ultimately you're going to get punished in the game. But not that way. Not that way. If you would have won, Somerville scored, you're like, nothing wrong with that, that's fine. We get back into the game. Arguably, the pressure's on them then because we're at the moment, the pendulum swung again and we're on the attack. Doing a decision like that has ruined that game. And look, I will sit here and I'll say Ten Hag should probably go anyway, and the performances and his question on some of the players. But a decision like that can decide a game, and they've done that. How is that an on-field review a clear enough? How have you looked at that and gone, yeah, you're going to have to go back and look at that? No chance. Do you know how many times them kind of fouls are done in a game? Probably more than you expect, right? Probably like 4 or 5 times you see that when there's a corner kick or a free kick or whatever. A little bit of a coming together. He's kind of going in that motion anyway. To bring that back and to say that's a penalty, that is not the correct use of VAR. That is not clear and obvious. It's not.
I think it's lost all, like I said, it's lost all objectivity. Like, it's got to the point where you're like, they're just making rules up as they go along now. It just seems like, oh, that time, that sort of thing is a penalty, but next week it's not going to be a penalty. So consistency and objectivity is completely disappeared. So you're just like, well, what's the point? Like, why are we continuing on with this system that clearly doesn't work for the game? It spoils goals because the way they do offside is like, oh, we're going to let him run through the play, score the goal, celebrate, and then we're going to put the flag up. So that just ruins football completely. And half the time it's right or wrong and it's edgy. And then stuff like this, the penalty on-field decisions, I just think until we can get it working correctly and it's 99% foolproof, just shouldn't be used. Use automated offsides and goal line technology. Everything else needs to go in the fucking bin because it's just got to the point now where it doesn't make sense anymore.
Look, people, I keep seeing online and a load of things. People keep mentioning, yeah, but look at West Ham's XG. Look, we are not saying that. We are saying in isolation, that decision is fucking stupid. And for a referee like Michael Oliver, who's supposed to be the best ref in the league, by the way, is well regarded, has, you know, a lot of respect from people up above, has intervened and decided, yeah, you go have a look at that, is utter nonsense. Man United have only won one match in their last 8 games across all competitions. So obviously, the biggest talking point, Sam, was that decision, and I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point as well after we've heard some further developments. But as well as that, I mean, I don't know where you start with that performance. There's a lot to talk about. We'll kick it off with the first half and try bring it back a little bit. I thought the first half we actually looked okay. I thought, you know, good passing and movement. Tempo was really good. Aggressive off the ball. But the chances, Sam, Garnacho, Højlund, Bruno, Dalot. Everyone's forgetting that Dalot sitter that he missed. That's one of the worst misses ever. And there was more than that I'm missing.
Yeah, there is. We hit the bar twice, I think. There was the Ericsson, wasn't there? The flick on for the set piece. And then there was another one, I'm sure.
Garnacho at the bar as well.
Garnacho, that was it, yeah. So, again, I think I said it in the group chat. It was just like, these chances are going to come back to haunt us in the second half, not taking these chances. And they did come out. West Ham made some changes. Again, Ten Hag makes 0 changes and to counter what West Ham have done. And they come out the better team. Somerville looks bright and sharp and starts putting stuff together. And he ends up putting a goal in the back of the net. And you're just like, there it is. Because we should have been 2-3-0 up in the first half. Because West Ham were terrible in that first half. Awful.
Yeah, shocking.
Really, really bad. And we should have put him to bed. But yeah, again, throughout our season, how many times have we been here and we've said, not taking our chances, just not being able to finish stuff continuously every single game. And then it costing us making a mistake or costing not taking our chances and it costing us games. And this is what happens. It's the same thing. And I just think until we start being clinical and start finishing things, this is how it's going to be every single time. Because if you miss so many chances, the opposition thinks we can get back into this.
Yeah.
We can get something for this. And their confidence grows and your confidence goes down. And then the game momentum shifts. And that's what you saw in the second half.
Well, that's what I felt like saying. I feel like these players just felt like it was like just 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Like after that half was done, I thought like, oh, well, we've missed our chances, lads. Time to pack up and go home. That's the feeling, because when they came out the second half, West Ham, for 20 minutes, solid 25 minutes, were all over us. It was like, oh, they've probably gone in the dressing room, haven't they? Lopetegui's gone and gone, lads, that's the best they've got there. They've given everything. They've missed every single chance. Now's our time to put our foot on the neck and step our performance up and go up again. And they did that straight away as soon as
and he made changes to do that as well.
He tweaks it.
He tweaked everything. He was like, I can see how to get at them, and he made changes and did it, and that's the difference.
There was a hard-time stat as well just before we came out, and it was saying United have created 26 big chances in the Premier League this season, and have so far missed 22 of them, a failure rate of 85%. So, look, like I said before, we didn't lose the game because of that. Well, maybe obviously that's got a big say in it, but in general, I don't think you deserve to win a game if you're missing those kind of chances. You don't.
If we look at it, if that penalty doesn't happen, it probably ends up a draw, doesn't it? That game.
Yeah.
Because we played well the first half, didn't take our chances. They played well the second half, scored. We got an equaliser, and it probably ends a draw, which I think both teams would probably go, that's probably a fair assessment of the game. But that VAR decision comes in, and it takes away that sort of credibility and the way that game was going, and it just hands it to West Ham because they didn't deserve to be in that position. Yes, they were attacking, but in the first half, we were attacking. So it's just, again, VAR should be there to solve potential issues. It shouldn't be there to upset rhythms and results of games. Like, it's not what it should be for, and that's what it's becoming.
Yeah, but obviously before that happened, they equalised with Somerville, and like I said, you could see it coming because West Ham was starting to kind of turn the screw. And you look at the phase just before it happens, Garnacho gives it away, and then it's Dalot at the back post. I know there's a bit of a ricochet or what have you, but I mean, how many times have we said that before as well? Either cutbacks or squaring it, someone losing it. Similar patterns that we're seeing Dalot at the back post as well. So that in general, you could see the goal coming. But then I thought it was shifted again. It's like, right, we're on the attack now. We're the one chasing for the goal, and the pressure's on them. And they kind of sat back a little bit. Just like, and then you got like Managerial went down, who's now injured, I think, who's obviously twisted his knee or done something. It looks pretty significant. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm fucking losing my mind with this team and the games in general and everything that's happening. And it's not. I'm not gonna go as far as say it's bad luck, but when you're watching us, there's always something that happens, and there's always like always miss this, or it's just that, or it's just nothing ever seems to be going right for us at the moment, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah, there's two things. There's the failure to sort of be clinical with chances, which is on the players. That's not on the manager. That's on the players, because the managers set them up and they're going and they're creating the chances and then they're not finishing them. So that's on the players. So the players need to sort of recognise that. The second part is in the second half is West Ham clearly made changes and they were starting to come into this game, and Ten Hag needed to counter that and do something about it. Whether it's tactically, whether it's making changes himself, he needs to do something about that, and he didn't, and it cost us a goal. And then the third bit was the VAR decision, where we're completely screwed by it. So those three things are essentially what ended with this result of this game. The two of them we could control. So the manager countering the stuff that Lopetegui did, and the players finishing their chances, we could control both of those things. Had we done that, we'd probably win that game. VAR is out of our hands, so we shouldn't rely on that to get results, but it's still not acceptable because it still shouldn't be doing those things. But those other two things are on United, the players and the manager.
Fewest goals scored in the Premier League so far this season. Southampton, 6, squad value 280 million. Crystal Palace, 6, squad value 430 million. Man United, last basically, 855 million. 855 million. That is just all the wrong stats coming out again, as we always get. Let's go into the comments, because I feel like I've neglected them for too long. What are we saying, people? Talk to me. The fact we're clutching at straws over a Stonewall pen shows how shit we are. We should have finished the chances we get, but we don't, because the players are as bad as the manager. Andy Williams saying, pen or not, sick to death of this crap. Absolutely. David saying, I thought Ten Hag said we were difficult to beat. 4 league defeats already. I know circumstances went against us there, but facts are facts, and we're almost in the relegation spots. We're going to talk about the manager in a moment. It was never a penalty, but we still played crap. It's from Daniel Woodgate. Wasn't a pen, but my God, those players are embarrassing. Everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet here, aren't they? Let's be honest. Yeah. Everyone's saying the exact same thing here, and I get it. We should have finished the game off in the first half and we were poor, but the reality is we had the momentum after the goal and the pen changed the game. Never a pen. 1,000,000% never a pen. I'll argue that until my grave. Brian saying, what a joke. A fucking shocking decision, but we should have been 3 up at half time. The VAR decision shouldn't have decided the game if we took our chances. Dalot can't mark either. I definitely second that. It was a set piece that West Ham had where I think it was Kilman who had a free header and Dalot was supposed to be marking him and he just completely missed him. There was no way near him at all.
Did it at Fenerbahce as well. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, didn't mark his man. Let him go.
Behir MH says, please, VAR shouldn't have played a role. We should have scored at least 4. VAR's brought in to say, look, ref, I think I may have got that wrong, mate. Might want to look at that. He looked at the pen. No issue. We should have blew them away in the first half. Those players are to blame. So many people annoyed. Red Devil Studio saying it's over. Tiger UK saying, all right, Ten Hag needs to get on a plane now. Return to Ajax. Let's talk about the manager, Sam, because ultimately, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for Ineos to pull the trigger, but my God, look, I'm not blaming him fully for the loss today. He can't put the goal in the back of the net for the players. No. The players are also to blame, the forwards, because we should have been 3-0 up, and then this situation never fucking happens, does it?
No. It's just, if players take the chances, then we're 2-3-0 up going into the second half, and we probably win that game, and we're able to sort of like relax a little bit. But they didn't. That's not on the manager. The manager selects the team, he drills them, he gets them ready for the game. And like we said, we looked good in that first half. Yes, West Ham looked poor, and they weren't like up for it at all in that first half. And we put it to them, and we should have killed it. We should have killed that game. That's on the players. Like, that's not on Ten Hag, that's on the players. So anybody blaming the manager for that, I think, needs to get a reality check. However, what the manager is to blame for, as I touched on just earlier, second half, Lopetegui made changes, tactically tweaked things, and they were all over us for like the initial sort of 10 minutes of that first half. And you're like, you need to change something here. You need to do something different because it's not working what you're doing in the first half. You need to change up to whatever he's done and be able to adapt. And he didn't, and it cost us a goal, which then the momentum of the game was then in West Ham's half, and we then had to try and counter that and fight back from that when we should have been way ahead and we should have been in control of this game. So that's on the manager. So yeah, the players and the manager are to blame. The VAR is a separate issue, but yeah, first half is the players' fault. Second half is the manager's fault.
Well, like we said, there's context to it. There really, really is. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, like I've just said, we are 14th in the table. We're Man United and we're 14th. We've won 1 in the last 8 games. You make arguments for whatever about that decision, about whatever. You can't continue with this manager with that kind of form. You can't, because it doesn't. We are in the biggest rut ever now, and I feel like all United fans are watching us week in, week out, and me, Chivy and Shreyas before the game was just like, there's just nothing. It's like we're going to war with like a paper gun. Do you know what I mean? Like we just know what's going to happen. It's pointless. There's no motivation. They need a change. They have to change it to get some, even if it's like, it might sound desperate at this point, but just to, like, when Ollie came in, you had the manager bounce, you had, different tactics, different thoughts going into it, just a different setup. And that's what I wanted Tuchel. I know a lot of people didn't, and people said it's not really Ineos's thing to go and get a Tuchel, but you can't tell me watching this right now is better than bringing him in. Not a fucking chance.
I think he's probably here till the November international break. Regardless, like I can't see them making a change after that game. Like I just can't. So I think he's here. So we're gonna have to. What have we got to the international break? We've got Leicester next week.
Yeah.
Is that what we got? Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea as well. Yeah, who won today?
Chelsea. And then POAK. I think is that the other one.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, and then it's the international break after that, isn't it? So I think those are the games we're gonna look at. And obviously, if he's going to probably not win most of those, if any of those, and that'll seal his fate pretty much. Like I don't see where he gets a win from, and then he'll be done. He'll be gone like in the November international break. I can see that happening, but I just don't see him going at any point in this week or next week before that break happens. I know a lot of people want it to happen. I know a lot of people should say it should happen, but I just don't think Ineos are going to do that.
Some quotes coming in from the manager. 3 times this season, we feel injustice. When you're losing 1-0, you need big personality and character for the team. Showed resilience to get back into it. Unfair and unjust the way we conceded the penalty. It was so difficult to see. Before the season, there was the instruction about VAR only interfering in clear and obvious mistakes. That is definitely not a clear and obvious mistake from the on-field referee. Sorry, he's spot on with that. I mean, I don't like him in some of the post-match.
Thing is, though, that's what he's going to use now, isn't he? For an excuse now the next couple. And that's the problem I have. Is he's not going to focus on how the shit the performance was in the second half and how he didn't tactically change things. He's just going to use that as an excuse, and that's the issue now.
Yeah.
Because VAR is now giving that excuse to go, we were robbed of this, and then everybody ignores the sort of everything else, which is the problem.
Remember the guy Nacho one? The offside against Arsenal. He was referencing that for ages.
That's going to be the new one. That's going to be the new one. So
well, if you look back at the West Ham game, this happened and that, and you're just like, come on, man. Like, it's more than that. It's way more than that. Chelsea going to roll right over us from Tiger. Paul Warburton saying another mundane work, piss ripped out of. UTFR this season can still be positive, but him and his staff need to go. He cannot blame the pen for our loss. It wasn't one, but the performance was the highlight. Arsenal game, refs, and 2 trophies. Yeah, exactly. They are his 3 go-to things, aren't they, Ten Hag? I'm fed up with watching this, man. Honestly, week in, week out. You know what? After the first half, I'm sat there and I'm like, if we would have converted a couple of them, it would have been a really comfortable night for United. Sorry, I've missed a super chat from random guy saying week ruined successfully. Thank you, United. Thank you for your super chat, random. Sorry about missing that, but yeah, you look at it, like, you take your chances. That's you're sailing away, aren't you, Sam?
Yeah, no, we should have been. I'd argue 3-0.
Yeah.
I'd argue the Dalot chance and then the 2 thing where we hit the bar. I'd say that's 3-0. Possibly could have been 4. There's another one there. So I think we should have been up and away, like out of sight when it came to the second half. Probably could have made some changes. Probably could have rested a couple of people and switched things around and got a bit more pragmatic and just say to West Ham, come on then, come break us down, and then just pick them off on the counter and get 4th or 5th or something. Because West Ham were poor in that first half, really poor. and we should have like sank our teeth into it. No, like a lion on the Serengeti catches a gazelle and he just sinks his teeth. Like, that's what we needed to do that first half, and we didn't. We just let them kept running. We let them kept running. Let them kept running, and then in the second half, the gazelle gets away, and we're stuck starving.
Yeah,
that's what's gone on.
And we are quite literally one of the weakest gazelles in the Premier League. I know I keep referencing it, but the Premier League table reads like this for anyone who's just joining. Southampton bottom, Wolves, Ipswich, Palace, who got a win over Spurs today, Everton, Leicester City, and then good old Manchester United. 3 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses, 11 points, -3 goal difference. It's time to go. It is time to go. I'm sorry. It's you just got to make that decision. I know in your head, Sam, and you're probably right because you're a lot more clear-headed than I am in these situations. They'll probably wait until November, but you've got to fucking do something. You have to. You can't keep watching this week in, week out of it. You're going to be fighting relegation. I'm not even joking when I'm saying that. I'm being deadly serious. You are going to be fighting relegation with this form.
We are having the Chelsea season when Lampard came in, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's the season we're having right now. We just can't win, can't score, and we look like dog shit. But Lampard just stayed in the job, didn't he? They didn't let him go, and that's kind of where we're at. I think no decision is going to get made until November at the earliest.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not 100% that he will go at that point. But at the earliest, that's when it's going to happen. So yeah, buckle up everybody, because this is going to continue for another 4 or 5 games at least.
I know we've got cup games. We've got Leicester in the Cup and POAK in Europa League. God help if we even draw them games. But Chelsea in the league next, they're on 17 points. We're on 11. They're 6 points ahead of us. They get a chance, which they probably will beat us in the form that they're in at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
They will then go 9 points ahead of us. And we're 10 games into the season.
It's like if we won this, we were 5 points off of Arsenal before this game.
Yeah, something like that.
If we would have won this,
close the gap.
We were 2 points, and then maybe Liverpool beat them today, which is a very real possibility. And you're 2 points off of Arsenal, who were title contenders, and you're thinking, oh, it looks a bit better. A couple of wins swings it like so easily, but if you just continue to lose each week in, week out, you drift down that table super fucking quick.
Yeah,
and that's where we are.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see more fingers coming in. I spoke with him. That's the 3rd time I felt injustice in the season. It's had a big impact on our team and our scores and where we are in the table. It's not right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of noise after this. I'm sure there's going to be, ref reviews with Dermot Gallagher and all that, and he'll probably kind of try covering his mates and saying that, well, actually, if you look at it and this and da-da-da, nonsense.
Yeah,
that is never, ever a penalty, and it's not obvious, clear and obvious by a million miles. Where do we go from here, Sam? Because, like you said, do you not feel like they're going to pull the trigger now? Do you think they're going to stick with this now for a few weeks?
Yeah, he's here till November international break minimum. I could even see beyond that till Christmas, honestly. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, we just got to sort of either hope that things turn around, which I think we're all in agreement they're probably not going to, or we get lucky in a couple of these games and snatch a victory somehow so we can stave off like the relegation talk, stay in the Carabao Cup, stay in the Europa League, although I don't see the point because I don't see us winning either one of them, so why the fuck would we stay in it? So yeah, that's kind of all you could hope for, because definition of insanity, isn't it? Doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That's what we're doing. And we're not getting different results. So until that changes, this is what United are going to be. We're going to be a mid-table, struggling team until we change things.
Sorry, go on.
Either United, either Ten Hag completely drastically overhauls what he's doing, which I don't think he will because he's stubborn and he's stuck with the thing, or Ineos make a decision to bring somebody else in. That's where we're at. Yeah,
UTFR has made a great point saying Maresca's been in 2.5 months and he sorted Chelsea out 2.5 years and we're fighting relegation. Should tell you everything you need to know. I mean, even after the last season, you're like, right, okay, Ineos come in, another 200 million quid spent. We feel like we've brought in good players. I mean, you're looking at that team today. Again, me, Chivy, and Treyas went through it together, and we was like, that's a good team. It really, like on paper, it looks really, really good.
Yep.
So you should be going to a West Ham. Anyone watched West Ham this season? They've been dog shit. They've been horrifically bad. And
they were bad that first half.
Yeah.
First half, they were terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But what you do by not finishing your chances is they go into that dressing room and you go, I know we've been bad the first half, lads, but
0-0.
It's 0-0. You know, we can go out there now. We change gears slightly. We probably go and win it.
And he realised that 'cause he made changes, he made substitutions. He realised.
Yeah. All about Oliver today. That's from Joe Tyrell. Yeah, look, if you want to save us...
Did you see the Darren Fletcher quote?
Go on.
Said the penalty against Manchester United, said 1 week it's a high threshold, next week it's not. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
He said that to Laurie Whitwell, Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, that's spot on. And I'm sure they'll all feel like that in the dressing room. But I can't subscribe to this. Like, I get you're probably gonna have that war and that siege mentality after this, and Ten Hag's gonna try use that as some kind of motivation or what have you. But I'm just not buying into it. I'm just not subscribing to this team, players, managers, any of it at the minute as a United fan. Someone mentioned before I didn't think it could get worse than last year, and somehow we spent even more money and it's got even worse. We're 14th. It's just madness. No other manager would be allowed that leeway. No other manager. And I get they're trying to stick with it. I get they're trying to have faith in him and trust. But, I mean, you are definitely costing yourself a lot of money, let alone any of the other stuff that we've not even spoken about, sticking with this manager right now. There's no future in it for me, personally. And, yeah, I'm struggling at the minute with this team. Really, really struggling. Yeah, just done.
It's just where we're at in a minute, unfortunately. Like, this is where we're at. We're in a shit position. And it's going to be extremely difficult to dig ourselves out of it, if at all. And I think it's just really depressing that knowing that we're writing yet another season off, like yet another season where we're just going, not going to do anything, not going to challenge, not going to be able to push for anything. It's just, it's really depressing because how many seasons in the last 10 years have we just essentially wrote off? Like, there's been a couple where like Mourinho finished second, Ollie finished second. There's been a couple where you're like, okay, they were building something, and then the next season it's been one of the worst ever. Same with Ten Hag, his first season, finished third, win a cup, like, okay, thing. And then it's just got worse since then. It's just got worse every single time. So I'm sick of writing seasons off. I'm sick of just going to say, I've got nothing to play for. I don't expect to win. And I'm just sick and tired of it.
Look, we're going to let the dust settle. I've got a few bits that need to film, and obviously pros and cons tomorrow. You can already imagine what that's going to be like. There's going to be plenty of stuff in there, and we'll see what happens. I mean, Arsenal just going up against Liverpool, by the way. Saka scored. So yeah, I'll go watch that game. Try calm my nerves down and put some content out because I'm losing my rag at the minute. I'm absolutely furious with that decision. I cannot get over that. The issue is that the pen should have been a non-factor, should have been 3-0 half time. I agree. Listen, everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet on this. Absolutely agree. If you don't finish your chances, you get punished, and that's what's happening.
You can be angry at the VAR decision, but still unhappy with the performance at the same time. It's not mutually exclusive. We didn't lose the game because of the VAR, but the VAR is a disgraceful situation on its own. Like that's the point we're trying to make. We're not ignoring the fact that we didn't play well in that second half and we didn't take our chances. We're not ignoring that. Two separate issues, but together, that's what the result was. Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best way to end the stream. Look, if you feel, I know you're all pissed off. If you're feeling slightly generous, please do hit that subscribe button. We're on 7,272 subs, so that'd be nice if anyone can, cheer us up with that. Leave your kind of leaving thoughts in the comments, what you thought about the decision, the game in general. If you thought anyone stood out, I'm not going to do man of the match or any of that bollocks because I'm just too livid with the whole situation. But yeah, you'll see me and Sam back on the screen shortly anyway. So yeah, take it easy, guys. Anything else, Sam, you want to say before we head off?
Follow the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff for latest news, match updates, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just keep your eye on the channel. I know it's hard at the minute being a United fan, but we'll be here no matter what. So just stick with us, I guess.
Absolutely. Right. Cheers, guys, for tuning in. Try and enjoy